Dad 101, the show where gamers became dads and now they're looking for cheat codes. Welcome to episode 63 for what is the very first episode of 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and joining me today is Ricky.
What's going on, everybody?
Now, before we get started with the show, everybody remember that Gaming Dad 101 goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services all over the world, so you can get us anywhere and everywhere. Make sure to go ahead and rate us and subscribe to us. That way you get the episode directly to your device, and of course, you help us out getting more listeners. So before we continue, Ricky, what's going on, man? Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Dude, honestly, it feels since forever, since we've spoken, since we've done anything, since we've recorded an episode. I'm just like, damn!
Yeah, man, it's been weird. It's realistically, we only took like a week off, but it kind of like, it felt like forever.
It really, really did feel forever, man. What have I done since our last episode? Let's see. I've hung out. I've pretty much had the time off, so I've enjoyed my time off.
Nice.
I think I spoke about it the last episode. I did go fishing, so after that, what have I done? I've gone to Ikea.
That's always a great thing to have on your repertoire. I went to Ikea. But the question is, did you eat the meatballs?
No.
Why? They're great, man.
Because we actually ended up going pretty late. So, yeah, by the time we started going through that section, they were kind of wrapping up, cleaning up. Because honestly, it was very random. We're like, hey, you want to go to Ikea? Like, oh, okay, sure, let's go to Ikea. There was like no planning, no nothing. I think I even texted you. It's like, yo,
yeah, no,
Ikea.
I remember. You were like, I'm going to Ikea. It's like, you want to come? Wait, what are you talking about? It's like 7 o'clock in the evening. What? We're going to, what? What's happening?
But yeah, no, my wife has basically been in a kick of looking for like a new bedroom set and everything. So we're trying to do things on a budget. So basically, the whole idea to go to Ikea was to just look around, get ideas. I think we ended up finding some dressers, some nightstands that we can probably do, and I think we can probably do everything for like around $600, if not a little bit less. Yeah, because we already have the mattress, we already have the bed rail. At the bottom. All we're really buying is just a headboard, the dresser, and another taller dresser. Because you have the long one and then you have like the tall one.
Yeah.
It's more narrow. And we're not really looking at even, nightstands. I think we're probably just going to get some shelves and just put them next to our bed or something. So we're trying to go the minimal spending as possible.
So then the real question is, you went to Ikea, but can you even pronounce what you picked? That's the real question.
I would say the name, but my wife is the one that took the picture of the item name, so I do not know. But it was nothing crazy. It was I forgot what the heck it was. I know it starts with an M. That was about it, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy wording.
It'd be funny if you buy the one that I have, because the one I have starts with an M as well. It's called Malm. I believe it's pronounced Malm, M-A-L-M.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's
Sweet.
The one that we looked.
Same bedroom set.
I'm gonna have to send you pictures. Yeah, but the one that we picked is like a somewhat of a modern, white look. It's the one that we were the one we were looking at. So yeah, I mean, besides that, my dryer broke.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did you get that fixed?
I actually just got the kit today, so I'm gonna be replacing that. So for those that don't know, when I say my dryer broke, basically one of the rollers that helps spin the drum inside the dryer, it wore out. I honestly think it was probably my fault that it happened, but the wife doesn't know that. Because what was it for? Was it New Year's party? Yeah, New Year's party. No, I'm lying. Christmas party.
So many parties.
I know, right? I'm Spanish. What can you do? For Christmas, we were having a get together. I have a swing in the backyard, and it has like an actual long pillow and, like the cushion, a long cushion that you sit on, and it has 3 pillows.
The swinging bench, basically.
Yeah, the swinging bench. And we've always talked about bringing the pillows inside and the cushion inside whenever we're not using it, but we kind of got kind of lazy and left it out there. So I don't know if I've ever said it on an episode where I was complaining about the freaking cats in my backyard just basically coming over and just chilling on top of the swing. And it was kind of full of cat hairs and all that. So I went ahead and I sprayed it down and hosed it down with water. So I got most of the hair off and all that. And then it had a couple stains just from being outside, just leaves falling, and just weather stains. So I went ahead and put it on the washer, and but I assumed honestly that the covers that it had,
see what had happened was
they were water resistant, and they're water repellent to a certain extent. That if you are hosing it down with a water hose, water will get inside the actual cushion itself. So I ended up taking the cover off. I ended up putting the cover to wash, but the actual foam, the long foam, I ended up sticking it in the dryer. And it's I rolled it around, it fit in the dryer, but I guess it was a little bit wider than the actual drum itself, than inside the dryer. And every single time it would spin, it would like pop the door open on the dryer, so I went ahead and put a cooler in front of the door so that
to force it.
So to force it shut, and I guess by the cushion trying to push on the door and me having the cooler, I guess the drum itself started shaking back and forth, and the roller kind of fell out of place. And
I'm sorry to tell you this, Ricky, but you definitely broke your dryer.
Yeah,
it was definitely you, man.
The wife doesn't know that though.
I won't tell her. Hopefully she doesn't listen to the episode.
Oh, she don't. Trust me, she is not a listener.
That works out.
I am good. But yeah, so the roller finally decided to bust and break, and the kid arrived, so I'm gonna be fixing that sometime this week. Probably on the weekend, I don't know.
Sounds like it, definitely. But, I'm sorry to hear, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna fix my mistake. So what was now I have the little joke going around because I asked you, yeah, I did, asking, so how much would a person that would clean the dryer, would do? How much would it cost me to do it? And I think you said, what was it, like $200?
I said chances are they're gonna charge you roughly $200 minimum.
Yeah, and then I also asked my wife, and oddly enough, my mother-in-law, I guess, has a repair guy that comes and fixes her dryer. So he charged her like $80 for the part and $80 for labor. So it was like $160. So my joke to them was like, well, by me, what was it? This would have cost $200, but by me doing it myself, I was able to save us $181.
And then if I recall correctly, I said, okay, so now you turn around, tell your wife, I also bought a video game. But even then, I still saved us $120. Because technically speaking, this time the math works out and is in your favor. So it would definitely work.
It really is. And actually, I did tell her about the video game. And I guess
share the answer because that one's wonderful.
Yeah, I guess this would be actually a really good segue into what we've been playing. Yep. But basically, I told my wife, like, hey, babe, so since I'm saving us this much money by me doing it myself, how about we just go ahead and buy a video game? That'll be my labor that I'm charging. And she goes ahead and tells me, it's like, okay, well, guess that'll be the money to buy Overcooked 2. So the reason
I told you you would love it. I told you it's addicting. Overcooked is wonderful, and anybody who has not checked it out needs to.
Honestly, I am not addicted to the game. I'm playing it just because the wife wants to play it. And this is the very first game that the wife is actually like gung-ho about, hey, let's play. Hey, like, let's play video games. Hey, can we play? Can we play? Like, anywhere I go, she's literally asked me, hey, can you bring your Xbox to my mom's house so we can all play? My nieces, like I mentioned on one of the episodes, they just got an Xbox, so they had 2 extra controllers. So she's made them bring their controllers over so we can like play 4 players. And we've been playing Overcooked 1, the original one. So But yeah, like right now we're like on the world 5 or level 5-3, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm lying. Level 4-3 is that
Okay.
we're in. So she's been very addicted to it. I mean, I've enjoyed it because it gives me time, to play with her. It's been helping us in our communication because I'm the kind of person that's like, okay, I don't really talk a lot, so I'm very impressed that I even do a podcast that I actually got to talk. Which now probably everybody's like, oh, that's why he really doesn't ever talk in the podcast either.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
But yeah, so it's been helping, in my marriage, in my relation, just having conversations, basically helping how to delegate things. Hey, you go clean the dishes while I'm cutting this piece of meat over here,
You
and putting it on the
sexist
plate.
asshole.
Damn right I am. What?
Nah,
But I
it's
realized that I'm really good at cutting the ingredients and putting them together, and then she's pretty good at just doing everything else, because to her, the part that she's having a hard time with is looking at the recipes that are coming or the actual orders and what goes, into the actual order itself. So I've been taking, care of that while she's running around, cleaning the dishes, serving the orders,
nice.
putting them to cook.
See, for me, whenever we play, it kind of depends because sometimes, like, we'll split the kitchen in two, and it'll be like I handle everything that's on this side, you handle everything that's on that side. Then like we split up like whatever's like in the middle. That's kind
Yeah.
of like one way or the other. We'll split it up. So it'll be like if somebody needs to gather the dishes, it'll be like, okay, you gather the dishes, I wash them, and then I'm responsible for putting them back, or the other way around. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about Overcooked. But
Hmm.
I'm glad you guys are liking it, man. And then it comes to other games, dude. I finally, for the first time ever in my life, I have finished a Pokemon game, like
Really?
all the way through. Yes, I've never been a fan of turn-based games because what it boils down to is I don't like the fact that I have to sit there, wait for somebody to attack me, and then I have to sit there and take the attack. When if you gave me an opportunity to dodge, I would probably dodge it. And if I don't dodge it, then I deserve to get hit. But if I'm just standing there, I don't want to get hit, Ricky. It's a pain in the butt, all right? So with that said, I've never played, well, I've played them before. I started to play Pokemon Red. I got a quarter of the way through and I stopped. I started playing Pokemon Yellow, got a quarter of the way through and I stopped. I started playing Pokemon Diamond. I got halfway through and I stopped. That one I got halfway through because the game glitched and I couldn't get a key to get to where I needed to go. And after that, I was like, I no longer care. If I can't do this, then forget it. I'm just gonna not play it anymore. So I stopped playing it. So when Let's Go came out, I got it mostly for my kid. I got it because I wanted, to check it out, see what the big difference was, and I knew that it would be enjoyed at my house regardless. So I got it, and the cool thing is with Pokemon Let's Go, for those of you who haven't tried it yet, you can actually play 2 players. So my wife and I were playing together, and essentially what it boils down to is we did the entire game together. I've caught over 100 Pokemon, but have 67 unique Pokemon because I've never wanted to like build up my, huge collection or whatever. I'm not that way. There's only certain Pokemon that I will hunt because I really want them. But aside from that, I'm not going to go out too much out of my way. But I've enjoyed it a lot. It was actually pretty fun, especially playing it 2 players. And even if you don't play it 2 player and you play it single player, you can play it with both Joy-Cons and still pretend you're 2. And it's cool because you can fight with 2 Pokemon versus 1. So it works out. So yeah, right now the last thing I left, like I have already, the only thing I have left to do is capture Mewtwo. And then of course you have like the 150 trainers that come out for the post game content. I don't know if I'm going to do that, to be honest with you. I'm happy that I've beaten the Elite Four and finished, the core game. So I'm happy with that. Whether I go back and do more, we'll see. Because realistically, I still got to finish Red Dead, and we have games that
Oh
are coming
wow.
over the next couple months that I need to be ready for.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But aside from that, how about let's go ahead and jump into the news. So For the first article today, we're going to go over for something that we found on GameSpot. A new gaming console is coming to compete with PlayStation and Xbox. This is an article written by James Ramey. So, Slightly Mad Studios CEO Ian Bell has revealed the company is developing a standalone console. Exact hardware and software specs haven't been announced yet, but Bell has provided a few details. The first mention of the console came via Twitter when Bell tweeted, quote, "The Mad Box is coming." Unquote. Bell told Variety that the Mac box will probably release in about 3 years and support up to 120 frames per second for virtual reality play. Quote, "It will support most major VR headsets and those upcoming, and the specs will be equivalent to a very fast PC 2 years from now." End quote. Bell wrote, "We're in early talks with manufacturers of components, so we can't say much more right now other than we have designs spaced out in detail." Now, the thing that they did update since the original article came out is they actually have a look for these consoles, and they're very much black on neon colors. It's black on neon green, black on neon blue, and black on neon pink, I believe, is the color of the other one.
Yeah,
Or
pink,
purple, maybe?
pink or purple.
Yeah, something along those lines. So we've had multiple consoles that have been announced over the past, I want to say like year. People that are, oh, we're going to be competing in the console space. Atari came out with one. There's rumors that Sega is looking into doing their own new console as well. Now we have this one that is supposed to be competing with Xbox and PlayStation. Do you think that we even have room for this? I mean, the Atari one has been a flop, essentially. The Atari one is something that you get on Kickstarter, and then you can customize it, but even then they had some issues with legality and everything. And essentially, it's just a very expensive ROM emulator. The one for Sega, we still haven't really heard too much on, other than the rumors that they're developing one, and now we're looking at this one. Ricky, you made a very interesting comment before we started. You said that it basically just looks like a PC, right?
Yeah, to me, because okay, so if you haven't seen the pictures, though, I'm looking at one of the pictures right now, and it looks like it has two water cooled tubes going through it, because one of the facing sides, it has like an acrylic or clear you know face to it, and you can kind of see into it. I mean, the image is kind of blurry, but you technically see two water cool tubes running inside the machine. The issue that I foresee with with previous consoles that they've said, hey, we're gonna come out with this, for example, like the Atari, just like you said, they've been more focused into the emulator space. So it doesn't ever really have a strong kick, because yes, emulators, they're fun and all, don't get me wrong, but there's never a true future for them, because there's never going to be a new release, for that specific, console, just because you're getting stuck on the emulator portion. Probably the same thing that with the Sega one. It's most likely again going to be some type of emulator. And right now, if you're even thinking about Sega, a lot of the Sega copyrights for their games, are they even still owned by Sega, or have they given them to Nintendo, to be able to play? Or because I forgot who has them. I don't know if PlayStation has them, but I know Xbox can have Sonic games. I think Nintendo has Sonic games.
Yep.
So again, some of your strong titles are no longer going to be Sega owned only. So they're going to have a hard time with when it comes to the copyrights on those emulators.
I mean, it really depends on how they did the contract too, because you never know. Maybe part of it is, maybe somewhere in the fine print is something along the lines of, if they start, producing their own consoles, that they are able to manufacture their own IP again. It really depends on how the contracts were made. So I think those were made back when Sega was, of course, no longer going to be making consoles because they were going bankrupt. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what that is like, and how that is split up. You do have a very good point with that.
Yeah. So, and then moving over to this potential console, just like I said, at least it has the look of a mini PC. So, and by them having talks about, hey, it's gonna support, virtual reality, VR, style games, it gives you the opportunity to actually create, games for it. Other third-party developers are gonna most likely have the chance to actually develop, newer games for this console, which it gives it that little bit more of an edge than the Atari one that was coming out, that kind of flopped, than all of this other emulators that have come out, where you kind of just stuck to just that specific niche. With this, you're giving the customers, you're giving the investors the chance to create something new and to continue add and to develop into it versus, just like your PlayStation and your Xbox and your Nintendos. They're constantly getting a brand new IP. They're still constantly getting a new concept, For example, heck, think about where we've gone from the original PlayStation to the PlayStation 4, the original Xbox to the Xbox One, from the original Nintendo to what it is now. It's an amazing, handheld console. So, yeah, this thing has, if it's done right, because that's the key word, if it's done right, it has the potential to be something and something great if they do it correctly.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll really see, and that's really the thing. It's the space is so competitive right now with Nintendo, with Nintendo kind of, since the Switch is a little bit underpowered in compared to the PlayStation and the Xbox. But really, Xbox and PlayStation have been going head to head. I think it'd be interesting to see a third party come in where they could actually do something, or kind of make both Xbox and PlayStation worry a little bit. I think right now that, we've talked about Xbox turning their ship around and trying to be more game centric and more for the gamer, but there's still a lot that they can do, so we'll see how that plays out. But I think that a third one would be nice to kind of push them both into the right direction.
No, I completely agree.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next news article. Next comes from comicbook.com. Mike Gordon, the composer for the 2016's Doom soundtrack, is putting together a choir of metal screamers. The speculation is that the project for this choir is going to be for the next Doom Eternal, which is, of course, due at some point this year. There are several requirements if you do want to try out. So if you are an ex-metal band singer, or if you do it for fun and you're interested and you want to be part of this game, one, you must be over 18. You must be able to fly yourself to Austin, Texas the first week of March. It's not a free gig, so you are going to be paid for it there, and you're going to get a credit within the video game, of course. Within the credits, you're going to get listed. They don't mention how much you're going to get paid at this point, but I'm sure that they'll go into specificity once you get picked, if you get selected. Audition tapes for this project need to be turned in by February 1st. You can submit your projects over at mick-gordon.com/ and here's the part that definitely says it has to absolutely be Doom. Once again, mick-gordon.com /666. So, with that said, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say it's for Doom. At this point, come on. So it's got to be Doom. It's got to be interesting. I don't know what other game they could be working on that needs heavy metal screamers. But yes, just in case anybody's asking, compared to the fact that I've already put this out there, yes, I am considering entering. Yes, I am considering trying. I happen to think it's a very nice coincidence that I've been working and improving my Scream that I haven't done in years, and then suddenly this comes out. Yeah, I may just do it. If I do audition, I will post it. But I'm not guaranteeing that I am going to audition. But I am considering.
Hey man, I might just go to YouTube and take one of your old videos and submit it on your behalf.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is me. I want to apply. I can totally do this, guys. I 100% can do this.
No, it sounds very interesting. I mean, the game itself, the Doom, I played it on PC, and it's a phenomenal game. So I can see that style of music, for this game. I know it's definitely not no Devil May Cry because they already have their band and their chorus going for them. So this is exciting, man. I'm afraid that I may lose you for a moment.
It's a week in Austin at best if I somehow magically get selected. But if it's if it's any indication from the comments on YouTube from people that have looked at my band, I suck, so I don't have to worry about it.
That's when you know you're doing something right, man. When you
YouTube
start getting
YouTube
haters,
comments are the worst, man.
when you start getting haters and people are telling you you're doing horrible, that's when you're making it, man. That's when you truly made it.
I know, right? For real. So, all right. So then, this next news article I found really interesting. So apparently, every Nintendo game has a negative zone. This negative zone is something that is hidden within the code of the game, and most developers have been using them or were using them in the past to keep information. So they would store certain data loads in there that would, essentially come out, but it was just like a deposit of information. So it's come to light that apparently there is a YouTuber by the name of Skelux, and I hope I'm not mispronouncing this, Skelux, that apparently is determined to explore the negative space in every single NES game. The cool thing about this is that he officially found the negative space for Zelda, and I found it to be amazing. There's actually a video that you can check out over at the website, and this is on Inquisitor.com. A minus world has been discovered in The Legend of Zelda is the title of the article. This was written by Rachel Sombakos, and I apologize if I totally mispronounced that, but it's a very unique name. So with that said, I highly recommend you go check it out. He kind of, apparently there's a lot of safeguards to get into this negative space. And the minute that they showed it, like, it's just awesome. It's really cool to see kind of like the inner workings of it. It's glitchy as hell. It is essentially glitch land. Everything is glitchy. Everything is twitchy. Everything is weird. So if you check it out, don't expect some weird, like, oh my god, cinematic. No, it's, first of all, it's 8-bit. And second of all, it is just a glitchy disaster. But it's really freaking cool, man. I've always found these, like, I've always wanted to go over the invisible wall, so I love the fact that somebody not only was able to, but found content behind of it,
Yeah. Yeah, for what I noticed, I did see the video, so it literally doubles the map of what it really is. And
yes.
what the negative world, for the Zelda game itself is, if you're looking at the Zelda world map for the original one, is below the current map that you can actually see. For this one, like Chris mentioned, you actually have to hack your way in to be able to make it into a stable game to even be able to play the game itself in the negative world. But a lot of people, I don't know if you've ever encountered it, but you can actually go into the negative world in Super Mario on the original one. The only differences between this one is that you can actually get into the negative world within the game in Mario, and on this one you actually had to hack your way into it. And really what the negative world is where they go and test out items that they want for the game, but they might not be ready for the actual game when launch. So that's what the negative space is technically for, is where
That's the functioning for it.
Exactly. So if you do go and see the videos, so every single time the Link dies in the video game, apparently a tombstone appears in the negative space. So that's why there was a bunch of tombstones, because it was basically the memory and the codes keeping track of how many times you died.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I did not know that, and I was wondering why there were so many gravestones.
Yep. So yeah, basically the meaning behind it was every single time Link died in the game, it would create an additional tombstone. So yeah,
that's creepy.
So yeah, you have a lot of codes that are just running in the background.
That just makes me want to go look back at my see how many tombstones there are. There's a lot, man. There's definitely.
I mean, you're gonna have a fun time trying to figure out how to decode it, but if you do and you get it to run stable, I mean, this guy had like 3 different sections of tombstones full.
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be interesting. Oh man. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and go to the last article of this week. This is a short week. Again, it's the first week of 2019 where everybody's starting to come back. So hopefully news will start trickling out, over the next couple of weeks. So it is a short week. However, this last article kind of packs a punch, and I kind of wanted to unravel it a little bit and unpack it. This one comes over from PCMagazine.com. Nintendo could shift away from home consoles. This article is, I want to make sure I give credit to the author, Matthew Humphreys. Nintendo started life as a playing cards company, but consumers today know the Japanese giant as a creator of gaming hardware and video games. However, that could change in the long term, with Nintendo's current president suggesting a shift away from home consoles if possible. Shuntaro Furukawa is Nintendo's sixth president, having taken the role in June 2018 when Tatsumi Kimishima stepped down. Furukawa was employed by Nintendo since he graduated from university in 1994 and worked his way up the chain, holding roles in accounting, marketing as a director and executive along the way. Now it's up to him to decide the future direction of the company as a president, and this decision may not please everybody. As Nintendo Everything reports, Furukawa recently gave an interview to Nikkei where he readily admits he isn't a pro developer, quote unquote, to counteract that. He relies on a group of development leaders who he listens to before making any final decisions regarding the direction of the company. For now, those decisions are centered on continuing the support for the Switch and its games. But Furukawa, and I'm butchering the name, explains his main concern is about the Nintendo experience. Many would view that as a combination of Nintendo hardware and software, but when asked about innovation, Furukawa suggests flexibility and ingenuity combined with changes in technology mean, quote, in the long term, perhaps our focus as a business could shift away from home consoles. Boom! And that is the mic drop that I need to talk about, and that is exactly why I put this article on this week's episode, because what? Nintendo's thinking of stopping the consoles? Like, just before the Switch came out, I'm on record saying I wish the Switch would fail so we could have games on PlayStation and Xbox and have my Zelda wherever the hell I want it and not have to worry about a Nintendo console. The Switch comes out and kills it, and I'm loving the system, and I want it to live forever. And now you're telling me that it may not? What the hell, Ricky?
It's really nerve-wracking.
It's really messed up.
Yes.
But it's really interesting and a mic drop.
I mean, coming from me, I've skipped, what is it? Since the Super Nintendo, I skipped every other generation. I did own the 64 for a very short period of time. It wasn't even mine. It was, a family member that I used to live with that had it, and I was able to play it for a very long time. But I never truly owned the console. The only other Nintendo so-and-so console, which was really a handheld, was the 3DS, the new 3DS, and now the Switch. But realistically, whenever he's making this kind of talks, does he consider the Switch to be a home console? Because yes, it has a docking, station where you can play it as a actual home console, but it's more of a handheld system. So those were basically the type of wordings that we're going to have to start looking at when he's talking about that he wants to stay away from home consoles, meaning that he just doesn't want to create any extra physical system that is completely tied to just one location and just wants the advanced technology of having it portable, and you able to take it everywhere you want, anywhere you want, because that's basically what the Switch is. And the Switch right now is your money maker. That's what's making you your money. He's probably looking at the issues that they have with the Wii, the Wii U, and all of that. So he probably just wants to stay away from that. So...
And it makes sense. And I mean, you got to think about it too. I mean, not long ago, we talked about how Nintendo was looking into releasing a Switch version without a dock so that it would be cheaper. And realistically, the dock isn't needed. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, and it's nice to play on the TV, but realistically, you don't need it. And to an extent, it's nice to not have to use it. So you're right in that perhaps what he's saying is that he doesn't really look at the home console being the home console like we have in the past and historically, and like we've seen with Xbox and PlayStation. And it perhaps is something more along the lines of a Switch. But still, man, you know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that they're taking it into consideration. It kind of shows me that it's a new Nintendo. It shows me that they're thinking a little bit outside the box, and it seems that they are growing as a company, and that's what I like, and that's what I hope for, and I really hope that they keep going in the right direction, because they've been killing it lately, and I just want them to keep doing it.
No, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Um, we'll see what the future has in store. I mean, hopefully they'll continue more in the Switch route, because that'll definitely be something that I will continue supporting them on, and I will continue buying, as the console, or their handheld version. But yeah, man, yeah. I'm afraid. I'll be honest. I'm a little afraid. I really don't want the Switch to go away. It's changed my life, man. It really has. Just to be able to play on the go. I mean, yes, I've had, like I said, the 3DS, but it's not the same, having that nice 7-inch screen, in front of you, being able to play multiplayer locally, online. It gives you a better experience, but
Yeah, for sure.
we'll see.
We'll see. All right, so now that we're done with the news section, of course, we get to what we get to every week, where we give the parenting cheat code of the week. For anybody that's new to the show, this is a cheat code that we have basically adopted from our life as parents, hence the name Gaming Dad. So with that said, this week's cheat code was 100,000% stolen by me. I'm not even ashamed. I'm not even gonna deny it. All right. I was surfing through Facebook, and I ran into this, and I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. I love it. I'm going to take it, but I'm going to give them credit because it's theirs. All right. And that's what matters. So this was written over by Mama Jess over on Facebook. And this is a Facebook page. So, feel free to go support it. Mama Jess. And the cheat code of this week is, quote, feeling guilty about your kids watching too much TV? Just mute it, turn on the captions, and boom, now they're reading.
I will say that's freaking smart.
It's kind of brilliant. It's also funny, and I had to, you know what I mean? I figured, I was like, all right, this is too funny not to share.
No, yeah, it's super smart. You want them to read. I mean, you don't want them just to watch TV. So you're, what is it called?
Two birds, one stone.
There you go.
Yep. So there you go.
And it will work for you because you've mentioned, about your little thing that you do with AJ, on how when he's able to play video games, he has to read a book. Now you can
read the TV show.
Exactly. You already watched the TV show. You know exactly what happened on that episode. Hey, Pop Chris, what happened?
It's not bad. It'll help him on his reading comprehension and speed too, because you got to read it quicker.
Unless he gets that that achievement going and just starts able to read lips.
Hey, by all means,
I don't need to read, man. I can read them lips.
Do it. By all means, fine. if you can learn a skill like that, by all means.
Yeah, you be a spy.
Do it. All right. So with that said, is there anything you would like to plug this week, Ricky?
This week I want to just basically say, guys, New Year's. Remember, we have Discord, we have Patreon, we have Facebook, we have all of these ways for you, to get access to our contents, to get access to us, to be able to reach us. Let's try to make it a good year, Let's make it to where we can enjoy more time together, I want to get to know more of you during this year, so let's try to make it happen.
I want to get to know more of you, so please get in my van that says free candy. Hey.
Ice cream if you behave too.
Oh God. Yeah, that's horrible.
But yeah, just come join us, come hang out.
Yep. Definitely, like Ricky said, go check out everything that we have. If you have also anybody who may have suggestions for the show, we're looking at things that we're going to do in 2019 and things that we're going to introduce in 2019. There's a couple things that we've hinted at. There's a couple things that we've kind of mentioned. There's a couple things that we were going to do and are not going to do anymore. But we are looking at 2019 to see what we can add to the show. So if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see or hear on the show, please feel free to reach out to us. The easiest way to get us is, of course, by checking us out over at our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GamingDad101. You can also check us out on Twitter at I am at ViscZen. You can find Ricky at PickyGamerDad. And of course, you can follow us to get any news on the show or shows coming out at GeekEndCast.com. So, once again, I want to thank you guys for listening. Remember that we're going to go live with another episode next Wednesday. And as far as that goes, we'll see you next Wednesday.